What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your BPA15 50-inch powered PA speaker. This video will also apply to any other speaker in the BPA series. As you can see, it comes with the speaker itself, with a handle on top and two handles on the side for easy carrying, and it even has wheels on the bottom to trolley it from gig to gig. It also has a 35mm pole socket so we can line it up to a speaker stand. It also comes with a power cable and a wireless remote control to control all of the features of the speaker. Now if we take a look at the back, you'll see we have a mic channel so we can use a microphone with the speaker. There's an Xlr input as well as a 1/4-inch input if you have an Xlr to 1/4-inch cable. So to set up a microphone, I'm going to take my mic and my Xlr cable. I'm going to take the female end of my Xlr cable and plug that into my microphone. Then I'm going to take the male end and plug that into my mic channel. Next I'm going to raise my volume knob on top here. And now if I turn on my microphone, you should be able to hear my voice coming out of the speaker. There's also a 2-band EQ we can use to change the overall sound coming out of our speaker. We can affect the high-end frequencies with the treble knob. So if I turn that all the way up, check 1 2, check 1 2, you'll hear a lot more high-end coming out of my voice. And if I turn that all the way down, check 1 2, check 1 2, you're hearing all bass and no high-end at all. Then we can affect the low-end frequencies with the bass knob. So if I raise that all the way up, check 1 2, check 1 2, you'll hear a lot more bass there. And if I turn that all the way down, check 1 2, check 1 2, no low end at all highs. We also have a line-in section so we can connect external devices to the speaker. For example, we can plug in an MP3 player with the aux input here. We can connect anything with an RCA output, like record players, to the RCA input. And there's even an Xlr Line Input so we can connect the speaker to another powered speaker or even a passive mixer. Underneath the line input section, we have an Xlr Line Output. We can use this again to connect to another powered speaker or even a subwoofer. To show you guys how to do that, I have a second powered speaker here. So to connect the two together, I'm going to take an Xlr cable. I'm going to take the female end and plug it into the line output here on my first speaker. Then I'm going to take the other end and plug it into the line input on my next speaker. Now to make sure the signal from your first speaker is coming out of your second speaker, you're going to want to raise the line input volume knob here on your second speaker. So if I turn on the microphone that's already connected to my first speaker, check 1 2, check 1 2, you'll now hear my voice coming out of both speakers. Now like I mentioned before, we can even connect our speaker to a powered subwoofer. To do that, you can take an Xlr cable or a 1/4-inch cable if your sub has 1/4-inch inputs. I'm going to take the female end and plug it into the Xlr line output of my speaker. Then I'll take the male end and plug it into the left Xlr input on my sub. This will add a lot more low end to your setup, and you can even set up a pole in the middle like we did here, which is very common in a live setting. And what's also really cool is that we have the line input section available still on our speaker, so we can connect a passive speaker, a MP3 player, or any line level signal and have them both play out of the speaker and the sub. To demonstrate, I plugged in my smartphone into the aux input on my speaker, so let's hear how this whole setup sounds. We showed you how to link the two speakers together manually through the line input and output, but you can also link the two BPAs together through TWS or true wireless stereo connection. But before we get to that, we have to first show you how to link a Bluetooth device to one speaker so we can link the two speakers together and have them playing music from the same source. So first we're going to want to make sure that both speakers are turned on, and we're going to make sure that both speakers are set to Bluetooth mode. They should be on Bluetooth mode automatically when you turn them on, but in case they're not, you can use the mode button to set them to Bluetooth mode. Also make sure you see the Bluetooth symbol flashing on the speaker. So next we'll take the device that we want to pair to one speaker, like a smartphone or a tablet. Then we'll go into the Bluetooth settings of that device, search for the device that reads BPA15, click on it to pair, and you'll know your devices are connected when you hear that sound and you see the Bluetooth symbol on one speaker stay lit. Now keep in mind, if you're just working with one BPA speaker and want to connect to it through Bluetooth, you would follow this step exclusively. Also be sure to raise the MP3 volume knob to hear music come from the speaker. So now to link the two speakers together wirelessly, we're going to go to our first speaker here and press down the TWS button. You'll know your speakers have connected when you hear those sounds, and when the LCD display on both speakers read BT. Again, this is only going to work if both speakers are set to Bluetooth mode. And because we already have our Bluetooth device connected, we can play music and have it come out of both speakers. Again, just be sure to raise the MP3 volume knob on both speakers. So now let's hear how they sound. Now if you need a bigger setup with more inputs for microphones or instruments, you can connect the BPAs to a passive mixer for more control of your sound. So first I have a couple of speaker stands here, so I'm going to use the pulse sockets that I mentioned earlier to prop the speakers up to the stands. So first I'm going to make sure to loosen this knob here towards the bottom of the speaker so we can prop it up to the stand. Then I'm going to line up the pulse socket on the bottom to the top of the stand here. And then once I have the speaker positioned the way I want it on my stand, I'm going to tighten the knob on the bottom of the speaker to lock it all in place. So here I have a Rockmix 10FX that I'm going to use with my two powered PA speakers. For this setup you can use either XLR or 1/4" cables, since this mixer has both XLR outputs and 1/4" outputs. But for today we're going to use two XLR cables to connect our mixer to the speakers. So first I'm going to take the two female ends of my XLR cables and plug them into the XLR outputs of my mixer. Then I'm going to take the male ends and plug them into the Xlr Line Inputs on both speakers. And to check and make sure everything's going to work later on, I'm going to plug in my microphone to channel 1 here on my mixer. Now to avoid damaging your speakers, you're actually going to want to turn on your mixer first, and then you're going to want to turn on your speakers. If you did it the other way around, you may hear a popping sound come out of your speakers, which is no good. So next we're going to raise the line input volume knobs on both speakers. Next, to make sure that everything from our mixer comes out of our speakers, I'm going to raise the main mix knob here on my mixer. And again, since we're using a microphone to test out our setup, I'm going to raise the gain and the level knob here for my mic channel. So now if I go ahead and turn on my microphone, you should be able to hear my voice letting us know our setup works. So again, this is a great setup because I can use the inputs on my mixer to set up microphones or instruments. I can also use the built-in effects on my mixer, and I have better control over my setup. And like I mentioned before, this will also work if we had a sub connected to each speaker as well. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your BPA15 15-inch powered PA speaker. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.